Hey guys, got another knife review for you today. Right now we're going to be taking a look at the Microtech UDX-70. This is a Tanto version with a two-tone serrated edge. Now this is my first Microtech, and it's pretty sweet. It's extremely light, 1 ounce. It's a dual action auto. There you can see the two-tone Tanto blade, which is really, really sweet. Looks pretty awesome in my opinion. So let's go over some of the specs just real quick. Its overall blade length is 2.41 inches, so it's a really small blade, less than 2.5 inches. There it is next to my finger. It's my middle finger. You can see how small it is. It has a single edge blade. Some of these come in a double edge. They make a double edge with two plain edges. They make a double edge with a plain and a serrated edge. So a couple different cool variations to this knife. But most of them are out of stock pretty much everywhere, because I think they're cutting down on production of this knife. I just picked this one up from Blade HQ, and you can see the production date here is November 2011. So I think that this might have been the last run, or at least the last run that's currently available. I'm not exactly sure about that, but that's what I am assuming. And this blade actually is made with S35 VN, so it's the newer, better steel. So you can see here is the S35 VN stamp. So the older versions of this knife was actually made with S30V. So I believe they just started making the S30V versions in 2011. So all the current models out there are going to be, or all the newer models are going to be S35 VN. Which I think pretty much Microtech is using for a lot of their knives. You can see here on the blade you have the Microtech stamping, USA, and you can see the UDX-70 Tanto Edge stamp also. I just want to show you the blade shape real quick. It's pretty interesting design. It's got the Tanto shape, but it's also got partially serrated, and it's got some interesting grinding on it. You can see here that it has a run of blade with a blood groove in the middle here, and this run is actually not coated, but the blood groove inside is coated. And then real interesting is the top swedge here. You can see how it kind of bevels down in the middle of the spine. Then it thickens up towards the edge here, or the end tip, and then on the reverse side that shape is repeated. The knife came pretty sharp, not as sharp as I would have liked it. It does seem to be pretty sharp. The tip is extremely pointy because it's just so fine, and the serrations are actually super sharp, but the belly right here could be a little bit sharper. I was contemplating touching it up on my sharpening system, but the blade grind is so fine, there's no relief edge, so I don't even know how I would be able to improve that edge there without having a relief edge to grind on. So I figured I'd just leave it alone. Here you can see the Microtech claw stamping serial number, and as I mentioned before, the production date, which I believe they do on all Microtechs. Now you can see that this has the tri-hole screw that Microtech is infamous for, which I absolutely hate, because there's no possibility of breaking down the knife if you wanted to. It also has the tri-screws here on the pocket clip, which is actually pretty nice. I like the pocket clip. You can see the shape there. It's got a real cool shape. Nice tension, not too tough, but not too loose either. So technically this clip is reversible if you want to spend $130 on the tool to loosen those screws. It also has the Microtech stamping on the clip. Now the body of the knife is 6061 T6 anodized aluminum, but it's actually, it feels like it has some kind of a soft touch coating on it, like a lot of aluminums do, but it definitely isn't just pure aluminum. It's got some kind of a like a rubberized soft touch coating on it. The side button here that actuates the blade is nicely ramped with some serrations in it. It also is made out of metal, so that's pretty nice. The overall length when open is 5 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so now I'm just going to show you the size comparison between my Strider PT. You can see the size is similar, but the PT is a little bit bigger. Now I'm also going to throw in my Boker Albatross, which is also a similar size. You can just see how puny this thing is on top of the Albatross here. So it is ridiculously small, which makes it a really cool EDC, because it's so tiny, so compact, so light that you could clip this onto your pants and never know you have it until you need it, and it's just very unobtrusive. The blade is nice and thin, so it cuts stuff really easily. I cut a few things and it just slices like butter, even though the blade could be a little bit sharper. It still cuts pretty well. What else? My version right here is actually going to be going back to Blade HQ because it is having some serious issues with the toughness and the stiffness of this button. To open it is not that bad, but to close it, it's just, you need to use 2 hands, and even then it's still hard, and it just wears the crap out of your thumbs. So pushing it out, it's really not that bad. I understand that these are generally stiff, and rightly so. You don't want it to actuate accidentally, but it's just ridiculous. I can't even, it's impossible to pull it back one-handed. Can't do it. So this is just totally impractical to me, because I'm not going to be able to, or I'm not going to want to have to use 2 hands every time I want to close and open this knife and play with it. So this is going to be going back, but that doesn't really detract from the qualities of the knife. Overall it's still a great knife. I just wish it wasn't defective in that manner. You can see here the pocket clip's also got a little piece sticking out here that's for a lanyard, but I don't know exactly what kind of lanyard you're going to get through there. It might take a couple inner strands of 550 cord, but it's not going to take 550 cord, because that's about half the diameter of a piece of 550. So you're not going to be putting 550 cord through that. The blade, I forgot to mention, it is dual tone, and it is, I believe this is DLC coating, so that's probably, arguably, the best coating you can have on a blade, because the DLC is just absolutely resilient and very tough. I believe Kershaw uses that on most of their coated knives. It's just a really good coating. It doesn't show wear that well. and it's just a nice coating to have. It also adds to the rust resistance of the blade. Also, I just wanted to mention on the lockup is actually pretty well, or pretty good. Side to side, there's nothing. Push down on the blade, there's nothing, but it figures, right? You know, there's no play anywhere else, but when you push up on the blade, there's some pretty good play. So every time you're gonna push down to make a cut, you can hear that, right? Every time you push down to make a cut, you're gonna be jiggling the blade. So that's also kind of a negative, because you don't want to have downward blade play, because then every time you actually go to use a knife, the blade's going to be moving a little bit. I'd rather there be you know, even side to side blade play instead of downward blade play. So that's pretty much it. It's just a really cool knife. I'm happy with it, other than the fact that it's almost impossible for me to play with this one and open it and close it. But that's just this specific iteration of the knife. It's not the overall knife line, so I wouldn't let that detract from your buying one. I got it around, I think it was like $205, but they're out of stock of this one now. So I don't know if, you know, they're getting more, or if this was their last one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments, just, you know, let me know. And thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like it, and also subscribe to my channel. I got a pretty cool knife review coming up, maybe even tomorrow, depending if I get it. So look forward to that, and thank you for watching.